Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a great day and having a wonderful start to the new year. This is the first video that I am filming for 2026. There has been one that went up that was using Mr. Matt's mixed media, the 12 by 12 layout that did go up in January, but this is the first one I'm actually filming. So I'm going to be making a birthday card today, and I've done this before. This technique, it's the Joseph Coat technique. It's way long time ago. It's one of the first videos that I did on my channel. I'll try and link it below, but I think the orientation, everything's kind of wonky, so it was very new. So gentle in the comments. But. I saw somebody doing this. I think it was Christina Werner, and she was using like a sentiment stamp. So she actually did hers by a watercolor. I didn't like how it turned out, but what I did like was that it was a sentiment stamp because I had done the technique using a like a big background stamp. So this time I want to try and do. I'm going to create a background and then go through the technique. So. I have already done some ink blending. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to use dye-based inks and I'm going to do a uh, quick blend here just to show you. I don't want to get too much into it because you guys have seen me doing color blending before. So I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to do a rainbow kind of colors. Um, I like to start with yellow, and you want always, if you're doing a rainbow or if you are blending with yellow, you want to put more yellow on than you think you're going to need. Now, the good thing about this particular technique, you don't have to be super precious about your blending. Doesn't matter if it goes together really well or if you've got some highs and lows. A lot of this is actually going to end up getting covered. So you don't have to be super careful in your blending. Like you don't have to have a perfect blend because it's not going to be the main focal point of your background. Okay. So now I'm going to go up and I'm going to do some russet orange. So I'm using my Elements by Lavinia Stamps. So these are a dye-based ink, which means it's water-based, right? So it's going to soak into my cardstock, which is what I want. Okay. You can see I am getting quite a few circles here. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm just going to continue to add color on. Truthfully, even just some of those swirls and those texture, or the little swirl here that we're looking at, those will just end up adding a layer of dimension and texture uh, behind our technique here. So it's not going to be the end of the world. Now, depending on the sentiment stamp that you're going to be using and how thick and how much of your background it covers, you might want a little bit more careful than this, for example. But again, the last time that I did it with a big background stamp, and you couldn't tell because so much of the end result was covered. So colors that I'm using here. So I started with the yellow was the Sundance. The orange was russet orange. This red is, just give you a second here. So I'm also going to bring this red down into the orange a little bit. You notice that that kind of helps smooth out my lackluster blending there, which is good. Get this a little bit here. Okay. Emperor Red, that was the color here. And give this another wipe here too. So in between, I'm just giving it a quick wipe my surface here with a bit of baby wipe and then drying it just so that there's enough. Sorry guys, that's a little tilted. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Um, Now I'm also going to use a little bit of violet chalk at this. Actually, no, I'm going to do that at the end, and I don't need to do that now. So for my green, I'm going to use pine. So I'm going to turn this around so that I can access from this side. I'm actually going to, instead of getting too much ink on my fingers, I'm actually going to, and possibly leaving fingerprints in my panel here. I'm going to use my microfiber cloth to hold this. And I'm just going to bring in my green. Oops. Bringing in some green, going into the yellow, and you can see already the yellow is starting to be taken over by the other two colors, right? The orange and the green. Um, which is why you want to start with your yellow and give yourself as much of a wide span when you're doing a rainbow blend as possible. Doesn't have to be huge, but you do want to have more because you're going to move your colors in and out of the yellow. Your yellow tends to be the central blending color. Okay, next one that I'm going to move on to is Blue Lagoon. This is going to be my blue color. And we do have a bit of green, but it shouldn't be too bad there. So, okay, holding my paper. Okay, and I am bringing my blue up into the green, and that's going to deepen that green color, going all the way up a little bit into the yellow. By doing this, we change out the shades. We get multiple tones. Because technically, if a person wanted to, they could just use the three primary colors, right? We could do red, yellow, and blue, and then we would get the entire transition of the rainbow, right? If you don't have as many colors as I do, which, good for you. That's not the worst thing. Let's be honest here. Utilizing the stuff that you've got on hand. Okay, so I'm going to give this a quick wipe now. Okay, my microfiber cloth. Here we go. And now I'm going to pull in a little bit of purple. So this is the violet chalk. And for the purple, I'm actually going to put this in two different spots. So I'm going to ink up and I'm going to come in at the bottom here, deepen the blue. So I get this really cool kind of indigo color as it comes into my blue shade. But then I also want to turn it here because if we were to add blue to the red, right? Blue and red make purple. So we will get an interesting color shade, almost like a deep burgundy by coming in on this end and kind of darkening that up too. So kind of gives a really interesting transition. That up off of there. Okay, there we go. All right, let me clean up my space here and then I'll bring that up. And wipe this all up to the side and dry that. Okay, so here's the panel that I have just blended. Okay, not not woo woo or anything like that. But now what I would need to do is I'm going to put this aside and let it dry because we've put a lot of moisture into the paper, which of course can take a very long time for it to dry. So through the magic of television editing, which of course I don't edit, so that means I actually did it beforehand. Here are the panels that I blended, and I did these yesterday. So again, here's my rainbow one. Okay. And then because I have a particular card in mind, I'm using the person's kind of favorite color. So she really likes turquoise and she likes oranges. So when I did these two, this was the russet orange, and then it was also blue atolls and mermaid. So kind of these turquoisey and blue colors mixed with the orange. Okay. So those were the colors. So I'm not going to go over the blending for those because you just watched it. I have lots of other videos for blending, so you can go and watch those. So let's get into the technique of what we're going to be doing here. So I'm going to pull out my stamp platform and my little key puck here. And let me see here. The first one that I'm going to do is going to be, yep, I am going to do this one first. Okay. Um, So what I want to do, because I want this to be centered, I'm actually going to trim down my panels to start with. These are all 4¼ by 5½. So, or standard A2 size. So I am going to trim these down to be 4 by 5¼ So when I go to mount these onto my card, there will be a nice, it'll give me a nice 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, which is typically what I like to do. I'm just going to come off of this end here a little bit. Mm, Turn them on. Actually, move them a little bit off of here. You can see how really nice that purple added to the red on the one that I did yesterday, right? Looks nice. I like it. And I've got a little bit too much swirly on the go on this side, so I'm going to trim that down here. There we go. So now I've got three really nice panels. I might keep these because I might use them on the interior of the card. We'll see. So we'll just put those to the side. And we will move on to the technique. So first of all, I'm getting my stamp platform out. I am getting out my Versamark ink. You're going to want a watermark or a sticky ink pad that is clear. You need clear ink. And you will also need some, where did it go here? So I'm going to need my embossing buddy or my anti-static powder. I'm going to need that, and I'm going to need my clear detail embossing powder. So I'm just pulling these out to the side here. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I am going to use, which one am I going to use here? Let's choose the pattern that I want to do. Or, I think I'm going to do this color, this one first. Okay. So I'm going to put this into my stamp platform, and I want to put it in a way that I will be able to consistent, like if I have to lift it up again or something, right? So the stamp that I have chosen is from this stamp set, which I don't remember the name of it, but it's from Simon Says Stamp. It also has matching dies, so you can cut out the sentiments and everything. And the one that I'm going to use is this Birthday Wishes. Okay, so you want something that's fairly thick or has a substantial, because you're going to want to be able to see the color under it. Okay, so this one's going to be a little delicate, which is fine. But then I'm going to show you like some really bold ones. But I'm going to start with this one. And I want to bring this down here. Let's see, because I cut these out separately. So I have some dies here that say 45th birthday wishes. So this is going to be obviously a 45th birthday card. So it's a kind of a special occasion birthday. So 45th. Like that. 45th birthday wishes. So I'm just putting this down because I want to establish whereabouts I want my sentiment. And now you all know I'm not usually particularly pedantic about how straight this is, but because it's a specialty card, I'm going to pull out a little T ruler here to see if I can get this, I want the sentiment as straight as possible. Okay, so I have this cute little T ruler here that should be able to help me. So this is actually made for Misties or things like that, stamp platforms. And it's small enough that it fits in here. And so I could jet this up against my card, but because I have the card at the edge here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to butt my ruler up against the edge here, the ruler on this side, and I'm going to pull that down like this so that it's straight and just have it rest on the top of the stamp. But there we go. Okay, now before I budge it or make it move, I'm going to close my stamp platform. Let's move this here, slide down, like that. Right. That up. All right, so now what I want to do, whoops, okay, I'm going to pull out my anti-static pad, cover that particular area, put that to the side. And now I'm going to pull out my Versamark ink pad, which is the clear sticky ink. And mine is not particularly clear, but I actually find that it's sometimes when it's dirty, it's actually quite helpful when you're stamping on white cardstock because it will leave a bit of a mark, like it kind of looks a little grayish, which helps. But there's nothing wrong with my stamp pad. It still works perfectly fine. Oh, that's not going to work. Let's move the tweezers out of the way there. Okay, there we go. And I think to put it on, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of pressure. I don't want to push too hard. I just want to give time because again, it's a very sticky wet, slow drying ink, so it's not going to absorb into the paper. So I need to give enough friction to have the ink move from my stamp onto the paper because it doesn't, the paper won't draw it in. Okay. So it looks like I've got a fairly decent impression, but I'm going to go in and stamp it again or re-ink my stamp. All right. So the Joseph coat technique is all about trapping the color underneath. So that's why now I didn't have to do the whole page, but I wasn't sure, like I didn't have to color ink blend all over the whole page, but I wasn't sure when I started out where exactly I was going to put my sentiment, what that was going to look like. So, okay, I'm going to move this to the side, get that out of the way, just to the side. I'm going to pull in my clear detailed embossing powder. So, I'm going to pull out my little spoon that's in here that consistently gets covered in powder. Okay. And basically, I'm just going to cover the sentiment or the area that I stamped. I want to cover that with the clear embossing powder. Really want it to adhere, so I'm going to give a good coating on it. And then I'm going to tap off back into my back into the container. Okay. Now I do have a paintbrush here that I use. This is a clean paintbrush, and I'm just going to go in and kind of give it a bit of a wipe to make sure that none of the powder stuck in the areas that I didn't want it to. And it's pretty good coverage there, so we're pretty good. Now, go in my heating tool. So again, although my heating tool, this is the heated tool by Ranger, um, works really great, but it looks like, despite the fact that it looks like a hair dryer, it is not a hair dryer. It will get super, super hot. Please don't use it that way because you'll cook your hair. And essentially, I am going to heat this up until it starts to melt and go shiny. And as soon as I see it start to go shiny, I move on. Okay, there we go. Okay. So now, see, so you can see. So right now, it just has a tone on tone look, which is lovely. That's very nice. So I'm just going to give that a moment to kind of air dry a bit, I guess is the word I would be looking for. Because it's plastic. So I don't want to try and wipe away anything while it's still wet to the touch. Okay. So while I've got everything out and my heat tool is warm, I'm going to put that to the side and I'm going to move on. I'm going to do the next stamp so you guys can see all of the stamping all at once. So I'm going to give my give this little stamp a little bit of a wipe. A bit of a wipe. Pick that up and put it back in the stamp set so that it doesn't get lost because we all been there, right? And you're like, I just had it. Where could it possibly have gone? Okay. So the next one that I'm going to use is this really huge block stamp. This, I believe, is a Tim Holtz set. He had some like this, and he also had some Merry Christmas ones. Yeah, there were quite a few. That was pretty cool. Yeah, but they're very, very thick. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, use a really thick stamp. That's this will show a lot of color through it. Okie dokie. So now what I want to do is this down. So this one I'm not quite as concerned about getting perfectly straight. Because again, I can also trim these too. It's not the end of the world if I don't get it perfectly straight. Okay. Now, this is also going to be a bit of a grunge look. It's got a little bit of texture carved out of the stamp. You'll see what I mean when I get a little closer here. So starting out with some anti-static powder. And now I'm re-inking with my Versamark. or whatever sticky ink you have. Could be Wow, could be there's a Boss Pad. I think Stamping Up has one. Even Michael's just has it. It's called an embossing ink or a watermark ink. And basically it's a clear sticky ink that stays wet for quite some time. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this a bit of a go. Again, a little bit of friction. I'm not like doing chest compressions, just providing a little bit of friction to allow the ink to shift or to move from my stamp onto my card. Okay, and I'm going to re ink because again, this is very solid. So similar to, and I'm not using a clear or I'm not using a pigment ink, right? Like my VersaFines or something like that. So I want to make sure that I'm getting a very good adherence. Really inking this up nice, really well. I'm gonna give just a nice little rub, little buff. Lift. That. This to the side. Yep, stuff's falling on the edge there. Okay. We'll give it a tap, tap. Just like that. So now you can see where it's all kind of opaque. That's what I'm looking for. We'll pull in this and we'll heat this one. Sometimes you can start from the back. If you're using thick, ultra thick embossing powder or anything that has like sparkle or like the heavier particles, you definitely want to start melting and warming it up from the back so that the adhesion or the plastic has a chance to start melting to the cardstock before it gets blown away. Okay. Now I'm watching the opaqueness go to shiny. Once it has gone shiny, that means it's melted and I'm going to move on. I don't want to burn my cardstock or my embossing powder, which you can do. So you can, just the same way that you can burn plastic, this is essentially plastic. You don't want to do that. Okay. So that's another one. So you can see that would be really cool. Even just that. So you could trim that, put that on a card, put a couple of sequins on or whatever. But we're going to go on to the next technique or to the next stamping. So I have one more that I want to show you guys that I'm going to use with the other rainbow, especially since how we did the rainbow um, color blending to start with. So I'm going to show you something else that just going to do one other stamp so that we can see, because once we get to the main part of the technique, it won't take very long. So there's a couple other stamps in here that are almost like a half of the of an A2 size. So I'm going to pull in my card panel. So this is again, this is the one that I blended yesterday. This is not the one that I just did. This is the one from yesterday. Okay. And I am going to do, so I'm going to do best day ever here. So, oopsie. That, and then this one says, hello, my friend. So by doing these particular bars or these particular stamps, technically I can trim this down and I can get a twofer. You all know, well, I don't know, maybe if you're new here, maybe you don't know how much I like a twofer. I really do like a twofer. I like to get two, possibly even a threefer. I do like to get good value. Okay, so again, I'm gonna add my anti-static powder. And this is the last one that I'll be stamping, so I can actually put that one away. Good. Okay, and now I'm going to ink up my stamps. Okay, bring that over. A little puck here. Give it a little bit of a rub, a little bit of a massage. Anybody else find that all of a sudden, like Christmas was upon us this year? I feel like I missed all of November. It was like, well, here in Canada, we have Thanksgiving in um October, but it feels like like Christmas almost felt like it was between it's only felt like Halloween in terms of time wise, like Halloween thing, like Canadian Thanksgiving, Halloween-ish. I don't know what happened to November, but it's like I woke up the second week of December going, oh my gosh, I need to get this all done here. There's so much to do still, including using any of my benefits. So I ended up in the last 3 weeks, I had three chiropractor appointments, three massages, some acupuncture. So it's great, but it's also like, wow, why do I do that to myself? Wait until the last minute in the year just to do that. Not to mention then the poor massage therapist like felt like she was just beating on me because I was so sore because I delay going, which is crazy. Anybody else do that? I hope you don't. I hope that you're, on it and you like take care of and um, utilize your services and things like that. Or even pay attention to the dates. That's also a big thing too. Yeah, despite knowing what the dates were kind of thing, it still was just like, oh, no, I got time, I got time, I got time to all of a sudden, holy cow, I don't have time. Okay. So we'll now be done with the embossing powder as well. So I'm going to cover this up so that I don't catch it on anything or knock it over because that's always fun cleaning that up. Not. All right. Last one, bringing in my heat tool. Okay. And I'm starting to see the opaque go shiny. So I'm moving my heat tool on, moving on to the next area, redirecting the airflow, redirecting. Okay, gotta catch the top of that B. Perfect. Now, moving up to the hello, my friend. Okay, there you go. All right, everything is all heated now, so that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside again, let it kind of dry, let the plastic dry so that I don't end up, because again, it's the same as if you were melting like wax, like a candle or something, and it wasn't quite set yet. You go to put your finger in it and you're, leaving fingerprints behind or whatever. Okay. All right. So the next part is going to be the main part of the technique. Now, this does get a little messy. That's okay. What you're going to want to do is bring in you're going to want a dye-based ink. Okay. I'm going to be using the Dark Denim by Elements by Lavinia. We're basically going to take this and we're going to drag it or swipe it entirely across the card panel now. So this is why I'm saying it's not the end of the world if you don't get super great coverage. Okay. So I'm just going to take this and I'm taking my ink pad directly. Now you could use blending brushes. You could blend over this if you want, but you're going to be putting on so much color that you can just drag it across. That, oh, apparently I had some glitter in the house here. Which, hello, anybody surprised that I had glitter in the house? Okay. I'm going to bring in, again, you want to really, really saturate your paper. And I'm going to end up getting quite a bit of ink on myself here. That dries. So this is going to be quite wet. A little more here. Okay, I'm going to give that just a second to dry a little bit. I'm going to lift this off and move that to the side here. And you can see here now, if I'd have been smart, I could have put together now. Also, if you are using things to hold your items to your glass mat or whatever you're using, give it a wipe because it'll transfer all of that color. Let's see an edge here that I missed. There we go. Side. Now, if I'd have been smart, I would have had some cardstock ready to go. I could give this a spritz and then kind of do some ink smushing, but I didn't think about that, so I'm not going to be doing that. So we'll just wipe that up. That. Okay. And now we're going to have to give this a minute to dry, but what I want to show you is this, because there's a lot of ink now on here. Um, but what I want to do is I'm going to come in with a clean paper towel. You can also use a microfiber towel. You don't necessarily, because I'm using a dye-based ink, I don't want to use a baby wipe, because if I use a baby wipe, then it could shift my ink that's on there and it will react to that. But I want to come in with my paper towel and I'm just going to buff off the dark blue ink that is in the areas that are resisting. Look at, there's my sentiment. How cool is that? I love this. It's such a fun technique that way. Okay, so this one, I'm going to use Distress ink. I have some black soot here. So I'm going to do essentially the same thing. So I'm going to start and just drag my ink pad over my cardstock or my card front here, basically. Okay. And all I'm doing is making sure that my paper is fairly saturated with the black. I don't really want to see too much of the color below. Okay. This is what gives it the drama of the card per se kind of thing, right? That's what makes it just be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How did you do that? Let me tell you about it. I have this video I could show you. And then, you hook them up and you send them my video. Was that a shameless plug? I'm so sorry. Anyway. Now, you will be using quite a bit of ink to do this technique, right? Because you are going direct to paper. So that means then that your ink pad is touching and it's pulling like your paper, because this is a dye-based ink. Your paper is basically pulling and you're scrubbing that ink into your paper. Okay? So that's going to be a bit of a challenge here, right? So it's a good idea. Now, typically with your darker colors, so like if you're using a dark brown, a navy, black soot, or something like a dark, you're going to want to have a re-inker for that anyways. It's going to be one of the most common colors that you would use. So I would recommend getting the re-inker as it is, but maybe you don't have that. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to put this to the side here for a second. And again, this is a dye-based ink, so I could spritz this with water and do a smooshing, like an ink smooshing technique, right? Cleaner baby wipe for this part. Okay, so let's put that to the side. Now I'm going to pull this in and I'm going to kind of wrap my paper towel, my clean paper towel, around my finger. And now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to buff or clean up the ink off of the embossing powder because it will resist the dried embossing powder. Oh, and you can see here where it's quite wet here. So I'm going to have to, it should be, I could do this. Oh, smart. Okay. This. mm, yeah, and then I'll come in again. This. Yeah. You can see where my fingerprint went right there. So I'm just going to buff that out using my paper towel a bit here, just so that it gives a nice smooth finish. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side for a second. So I've got more black ink, of course. So the black ink everywhere. Black and navy. Now, for this last one, what I want to do is I actually pulled out a die because I don't want to, again, I had told you that this was going to be a twofer. So what I want to do is I pulled out a set of nesting dies. So these are kind of like a postcard, almost edge of nesting dies. And I was thinking that this one here should cut a really nice little frame like that. So I want to, now, what about this one? This one might be too small. That one too small? Yes, it's going to cut off everything, and I want to have some edge to it. So this I'm going to trim out using my uh, die cut machine. And hopefully that's not going to squeal. It didn't today. Small miracles, you know. Okay, so let us, I'm going to edge to edge here. I want this to be as far down, but still on the paper as possible. Okay, let's catch the. I wonder if I could even just do. Oh no, I do definitely need to get. Hmm. Actually, see, it's a little too big, so I'm not going to be able to catch those scallops. But what I will do is try and get the edge because there's a dotted line edge in there. So I'm going to do that instead, so that I can then use my paper trimmer to trim it. So on the back side, so now I'm going to tape this in place so that when I go to utilize my uh the word that I'm looking for, guys, my die cut machine, I don't have to worry about it shifting, which is good because I'm doing it in a fairly specific place. So I'm using a Gemini Junior. It's just off camera here. Just quickly run this through. Shouldn't take too long. And one cut. Apparently some black from another thing that I was cutting there. Awesome. Yeah, and let's pull that off. And oh yeah, that'll work great. Now I wonder, can I do the same with this size? Let's measure. Oh, I can too. Hot diggity. Okay, so I'm just going to squidgy that into the side. I don't know if you guys can see from the back here. So I'm just trying to fit it inside of these scallops because I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to trim off those scallops. But I do want kind of the finished edge. There's a piercing. Just give me a second here and I'll hold it up closer to the camera so you guys can see it. I don't want this to move on me whilst it's going through my die cut machine. Pop that over and put this to an edge. So, okay, and through. Move that. Oh, sorry, guys. Move that out of the way a bit. Okay. So we've got this, and then I'm going to put my little pieces of tape back because I store them on my little Lazy Susan thing here because I reuse them. This is mint tape from scrapbook.com that I'm using, and it's really great because it has a good hold to it, but it is still a low tack tape. So here you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see where there's the little indentation. So it's kind of got a dotted line. So I'm going to use that, but I can also come in with my paper trimmer and I'm just going to trim off the scallop because I don't need that. So it will give it this nice little edge and give it a nice finished look, but I won't need to use the scalloped because it didn't fit on my card. I would have had to go the other way. So, which is okay. This is slightly crooked, but that's okay. We'll work with it. There we go. All right. So because I have two, what I'm going to do on this one is for the black one, or sorry, for the yeah, for this one I'm going to do navy. For this one I'm going to do black. So we can just see the difference again. So let's do the navy on this one. And that again here. So whoop. Okay, so you've now seen this is the third example of this. The really cool thing about by using the die cut here to cut this out, what I've done is I'm still catching a little bit of the straight color in the indentations in the piercing of the paper from where it has those nice stitch marks. And let's do, okay, let's sketch that. I'm gonna move this to the side and give it a wipe. So pull out the paper towel and give it a buff. Wow, that's so cool. Love it. Love it. And shift that again to there. So, okay. So you can see here where the stitch marks are, like you can still see the yellow and the green. There's a little bit of purple on this end because it pushed down into the paper. So it's not as, I mean, it's intense, but it's not, gives it a really cool looking frame around it, which was kind of what I was hoping for when I decided to die cut it like that, rather than just using my paper trimmer and cutting it to size. So it's even more noticeable on with the black and the yellow here. Let's get that. I want that very intensely colored. Right. And I'm going to touch this side. Right. Now, if you don't care about getting ink on your fingers, which usually I don't, but I don't want to have so much ink on my fingers, which is why I'm using my magnet to hold this in place here, right? Because it's you know, it can be a lot. But you could just hold it with tweezers or something like that would be just fine. You don't have to use a magnet like I'm using here. Okay, let's do a bit of a buff. Okay. Right. And wipe off my magnet, this to the side, and give this away. Okay, so any water-based or dye-based ink will work for this. Technically, the top part you could use a pigment ink, but it will stay wet for a very long time. In general, you want something that is going to absorb into your paper, which is a dye-based ink. Is it possible to do it with a pigment base? Yes, it is possible to do it. It's just, you know, you'll be waiting till the cows come home for it to dry because you've added a lot of liquid onto your paper. Okay, so now we have quite a few different sentiments. So we've got four card fronts essentially here. Now for this one, if you want, like you can see here, there's quite a bit of black still on it. If I wanted to, I can go in and I can reheat this a little bit with my heat tool, and it will just kind of refresh the embossing powder. I don't want to hold it on there too long because I don't want to melt it so much that it melts and absorbs into the paper. But what I did notice is with the black in particular, it just kind of dulls it just a little bit. It's not so bad with the navy. The blue navy worked out pretty good. But I just want to bring back just a little bit of that shine, especially because on some of these, I may not be doing any like further embellishment. Technically, this could be just the card and call it good, right? So, all right. So I think these are dry enough to work with. So let's put together a couple of cards. All right. So the first one that I'm going to do is going to be that navy one here with the birthday. So I'm just going to pull out some white cardstock. I'm actually going to give my fingers a bit of a wipe here first, just to make sure I'm not going to get too much transfer. Nothing like working on white cardstock and putting a big schmooch right in the center. Yay, not. Okay. All right. Okay, so making sure that it opens the right way, which it is. Okay, so here's what it's going to look like. Okay, it's got a really nice little kind of a border, so it'll pop off of there, and then I'm going to do some gold accents with the 45th birthday wishes. Okay, so I'm just going to stick. Now I could pop this up if I wanted to. I don't think I'm going to though. But you can even see already because we did the heat embossing. So we did the we put a lot of ink by doing the um, ink blending on it, which was added into, of course, your paper base, right? So into your card. So we have the moisture from that, and then we did heat embossing. So we added the plastic on top, and then we went and resaturated it with extra the extra ink on top, which again, we've just saturated. So again, these will be a little bit, they might warp just a little bit. It's not too bad, but you can put them in a book or whatever. Use foam tape that will help them absorb well and grab the different layers, etc. That's pretty good. Okay. So the reason why I'm using my blocks to kind of push this down instead of using my hands is because again, that is still quite wet. And I don't want to get a ton of ink on myself, which I will then transfer onto the cards. 45th birthday wishes. This is just really cute. Right? Mm. Now, I'm going to kind of just get the placement of what I'm liking, which I'm kind of liking that. So I think I'm going to start with the 5 because that'll give me a pretty good uh gisting of where everything is going to go. So I'll start with the 5. Okay, so grab that in my tweezers, get a good grip on it. And I'm going to bring in some liquid adhesive. So now basically I cut this out of black cardstock because I knew that I would be doing a couple of layers. And I also knew that my card background was going to be quite dark. So I didn't want to have white showing from the side of this. So you can see here, right? So instead of having white on top of all of this darkness, that would be very, very visible. So I wanted to have, so I cut it 3 times out of the, or sorry, no, that's not true. 2 times out of black, and then 1 time out of this kind of gold matte cardstock to stick that down about there. A little too high, come down. Whoops, not so much. I want you to be straight. Okay, it's going there. Now the T. Yep, come on, you. All right. And mix the H now. Do I have the H going that way? Yeah, because the 4 has the higher peak on it. I'm going to turn that H around so that it has the slightly descending or off center as on the top there. So the slightly longer arm is on the top here like this. There we go. Stick that down, and then I'm going to put that on there for now. Now, again, I'm going to use, now let me see here. Here's the interesting thing. So for this one, look at what happens if I pop that off of that lighter green, because I did use those colors in there, right? So I have that one. I have this darker kind of bluish color. Now I think that one's actually too dark. So I like that one better there. What else have I got here? What else? What else? What else? Oh, now I have this very light one as well. So I've got that one, or I've got that one too. Well, you know what? I think, okay, I like this one. I'm gonna go with that. Oh, well, let me check a white though too, just before. Before we go and stick it down, let's check what it looks like with the white. Okay. So we've got with the green or with the white. I actually like, now it's really nice with the white. It's not bad, but I actually quite like it with the green. It's different, right? Which is one of the nice things sometimes to utilize your differing card stocks, etc., things like that, right? So, and I don't know, this is some I'm pretty sure this is Stamping Up cardstock. It's really nice and thick, but I traded some classes with a friend who had a bunch of overstock that she was looking to get rid of. And I like to do every once in a while. It's nice to have a colorful card base. So I'll stick this down on there, roughly making an effort to get it straight. Oh, fudge. And I just pushed it over. Huh. That was good. Not. Okay. So that's basically in line. Now, again, because it is so wet still, I'm going to bring in the blocks to kind of hold that, kind of push it into place so that it gives it a moment here to hold. Okay. All right, T. Now, I want to do let's see here. Let's just push those over to the side here. That. Now, we've got really interesting colors in here. So we've got the green. So I could do, I've got purple, I've got green. So I have this really nice, kind of like this lilac color. That's kind of interesting, right? I've got this light citron green. That's kind of nice. Also I have a white. Okay. So we have a white, but I have an image that I colored that I want to put with this that I actually think the purple might be kind of really cool with it. I have this purple as well, which is just slightly different. So many purples, so many purples, so many decisions. Okay, so I'm going to put the green away and I'm going to keep out these purples. So, okay, we've got that one. Okay, that's kind of nice. It's different. And, or we've got that one. Good question. So the image that I want to put with it is this. So I'm going to do the best day ever and then pop up the image that I colored. So we've got that, or we've got, oh yeah, I think I like it on this one better. Okay, so let's stick that down then. This card away. Sorry guys, just a minute. So I don't know if you do this or not, but I have a selection of card bases of standard A2 card bases that are just down here on my right in a drawer that are always ready to go. So I keep standards like black, white, and I carry them in what is this? So this is landscape. So this is a side fold, or I carry them in top fold as well. So I have both just sitting beside me ready to go. That way then I can play with the colors that I want to use because I'm never sure, right? I don't know about you, but I'm not always sure which color I want to use. White, it tends to be my standard. Do a lot of black as well, but then I have to make sure that I've got a good insert on it, right? Like to make sure that somebody can write their message because not everybody has, like gel markers or gel pens to write um, on a dark item. Neat. Okay, so now I'm gonna pop that on there to let it set while I pull out some foam tape for behind here. And I need my foam tape scissors, which are stuck behind a bunch of stuff here. Yeah. And I just noticed that I don't happen to have any pearls out because I put them away. You guys would be shocked. I was supposed to actually have company, some friends coming over to craft after New Year's, or no, just after Christmas. And yeah, because of the weather that we had here in Alberta, holy man, I'm hoping your guys' weather is better. But it's been very cold. We had a lot of snowstorms. We're still having some freezing rain and whiteouts. It's been a good, interesting couple of weeks weather-wise for us here. And we typically don't get this weather until January. So, yeah, usually for the last many years, Christmas has been pretty reasonable for us here. Usually we do have a little bit of snow, but it's not usually been so cold or so blowing. And yeah, roads were pretty dicey on Christmas Eve, and then again on the 27th, like Boxing Day, and then the 27th. And then yesterday today they're not great. So it's been like, wow. New Year's Eve was crazy. So yeah, it's been a thing. So how many people have gone back to work already? Did you have time off during the holidays? Were you able to get some time with family? Hopefully you enjoyed it, or with friends or family, whatever. I'm not going back until the 5th, which is nice. So this is actually what day is it today? Today's the 2nd. So as I'm filming this will be going up towards kind of closer to the end of the month. But yeah, so I'm trying to get some filming in before I have to go back to work, which is kind of nice. But anyway, so back to my story of I was cleaning. So when I put away everything, because I thought I was going to be having people here, because oh, like any kind of flat surface was covered. Um, seriously, if you really want to clean up your craft room, have somebody come visit. Come plan a crafting thing in your home, because nothing will motivate you to get your space cleaned up like, ooh, I need places for people to sit. It was pretty touch and go there that I thought we might have to craft on the floor there for a bit. Um, which would have been hilarious. So I was able to get it cleaned up on the 25th, 26th, then had some time, which was also nice. And but then, like I said, we had to cancel. I may reschedule for next month, maybe, which would also then assist me in keeping it usable and clean. But what ended up happening, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because then I put away my stuff, and I'm just noticing now that I will need some pearls or some bling or something for these. And yeah, I'm gonna have to dig it out because I don't have that prepared yet. But you can see here that once you've done, like if you were to do this in batches, for example, once you have completed your, yeah, that's cute. Look at that. That's so cute. Okay, and then I'll come in with some glossy accents and some like wink of Stella on the balloons and stuff. But look at how fun is that? So I have my sentiment. I've got my little space here on my little image. I've got technically, this is all I would need to do. So you could batch these if you did ink blending or you had some alcohol ink backgrounds. Oh no, because alcohol ink has to be done on a non-porous surface. So you'd have to do this on paper. So you would have to get could do color smooshing or whatever to get the color. Then do your stamping, inking, all of that. But you could do bang, 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 and just have it all done, right? Now let's do this last one here. So I have one more yellow. This yellow. Hello, my crafty friend. That's quite pretty, isn't it now? Or let's see here. I've got the green. I think the green, okay, the yellow is better with that one. But let's check out. I think I have a red in here. I have a red, I have a red, I have a red. There's the red. Oh, but stop holding. Okay, let's do this. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool too. Okay. Mm. Decisions. And this is a slightly bigger card. So I'm going to cut this down. Actually, I really like it popping off of the yellow. So I'm going to do the yellow, but I'm going to trim down this card first to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is slightly bigger. Looks like it's 6 inches, which not going to work. Let's see. Let's just do this to 5 1/2. There we go. Yeah. This one could actually do, and this one I will just pop up. So in this hello, my friend could be used. Did I put that away already? Okay, if you were foam tape, where would you be? I just literally had it here. Oh, there it is. Okay, just slid down. Moments. So this hello, my friend could be used for sympathy. It's pretty intense for sympathy, so I don't know about that, but could be just a note thinking of you, happy birthday, which you could just stamp on the inside. Just a note. Hope you're well, could be congratulations, could be, right? Like it's got lots of, it's a very simple, generic one. Just thinking of you, or those kinds of um nice little card, right? Or happy birthday. So if you leave it blank and then move it from there, or like just keep it in your stash or whatever you're doing, um yeah, you can always add a stamp or something on the inside once you're ready to utilize the card, right? So that's cool. So we've got here. So I started this. So the video is almost an hour now. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I was hoping it'd be a little faster. However, I should be done in the next 5 minutes or so. And we've done 4 cards in just over an hour. Okay, so that's pretty good. Plus, I've got the base for one more ready to go. Well, once it's dry. This is not dry yet. But yeah, so now I'm just peeling off my release papers here. And I'm going to put that on my card, and then I'm going to find some bling for a few of these. Okay. And kind of this yellow one and this one, I don't want to add a lot of bling because I think these could be really good, like possible masculine cards. This yellow is a little light, but wouldn't be the end of the world. I know a lot of guys that wouldn't mind that. So do I know a lot of guys? I know some guys. Let's say I don't know that I know a lot of guys would be like, oh, yellow. But no, it's nice and it's colorful and it's easily usable, right? And multicolored. Oh, good. Okay. Or not multicolored. It's got different colors on it, so it can be used for whatever we would need there. Okay, so we've got these ones. I've got the golds, which I think would be really pretty on this one here. Uh, Actually, black and gold. Actually, this black and gold would be really cool on this one here too. And then the purple one, I think. Have I got enough purples in this one? I think so. This one's a little bit easier to see. Okay. No, you have too many flat back pearls when. Okay, so let's start with the 45th birthday one. So what have we got here that we can utilize? Like, look at how, ooh, that gold is really pretty and multiple different colors of the gold, right? I've also got this here with the gold and the silver, but I think I'm going to use this one. So first of all, we need to pull out my little wax sticky here. So getting ready to finish up the video here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, remember to keep your comments kind. But if you have anything that I haven't answered or something that was unclear in what I was doing today, please do put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll do my best to help out if I can. Um, Sorry, this is a bit of a brain fart here while I'm trying to think and do this at the same time, which is, not always the strong suit. Um, yeah, I'm going to yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Like I said, I'm trying to, before I go back to work, I'm trying to get a few videos in the bank, kind of sort of so to speak. And hopefully those will be coming out. So this one's end of January. I'll have a couple for February. So I'm going to have a Valentine's one. Oh, this one might go up in February. But I will definitely have like a Valentine's one. And okay, I need another white. I like the little gold here. So another size. Varying sizes in the ooh, nice big glitter one. So because this is kind of going to be this is a slightly more special card. I am going to put more bling on than what I would typically do for this. A little bit more. Black and another white though. We just went to the giant white. We have another small white one, I think. Oh, shooting them off my lap. It would appear there's only one size of white in there. How weird is that? Okay. Okay, so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 11. Perfect. So that's going to be an odd number. Let's see if we can get a couple more black in here to work on. That one. And so I need one more because I just added in another one there. So there we go. Cool. All right. So, whoa. Again, just about shot those off on my lap. All right, so let's move these around now. So I want to have some pretty good movement of these. So I'm thinking somewhere down. Oh, come on, get over there. And we will go with maybe this black one like that. And then we'll pull in gold, like so. And I want to do, let's see, now if I could get this right. Let's do right there. I like the iridescence on these. It's kind of cool. So I think I want to try and keep it to be almost like a cascade. So I might do kind of like this instead. Kind of spread this out down below here. Oops. Oof, fudge. Come on now. There we go. Okay. White, and it was big crystal. So let's move the big crystal down. And I want this to travel kind of in this direction on my card, right? So let's pull this gold one. Is it gold? Is it black? So that's interesting. These black ones have differing shades on them. That's kind of cool. 2, 4, 6. That's why that doesn't fit well. Okay, so let's do this. Do the white up there. And black one here. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. What do we think? I like how it's kind of like shooting stars. I think I like it. I think I like it. I think I like it. Okay. And let's stick them down. Starting at the end here. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm just about finished here. So I just want to take a moment to thank you all again for your support and for tuning in. We have a few new people that have joined us in the last couple of weeks, which is just so exciting. It's always mind-boggling to me when people join us from around the world, and it's amazing. And yeah, so welcome again. If again, I do take time to read, and mostly I do get to responding to most of your comments or questions and things like that. I think that I've gotten to pretty much all of them. Um, so if there is something that I haven't answered or you felt like I missed in the technique or that wasn't clear, by all means, please put it down in the comments there. Okay, I'm going to let this dry. It's going to take just a moment here, but these will dry clear. So it's kind of like this. I might add a few more at the top here because it's looking a little bare, but I'm going to let it dry first and see what that looks like. This happy birthday to you. Let's see here. I've just got some not plain, iridescent clear baubles here, or flat back pearls. They're almost like a raindrop. And I'm going to pull in So those are kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. That might be too yellow on there. It kind of goes blue. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Let's see if I can get another one on there and see how I like it. If I could pick one up. Ah, all right, fine. Let's just pull that out. Oh, I wonder what it would look like if I just did some simple gold on there. I want something that's not going to be like too in your face, that have a little bit of pop. Maybe I'll just leave these. I'll do these. Okay, I like that. I want to do a nice small one, maybe here, like that. Okay, pull that out. That, and then two up top here. Like that, and then a small one. Like that. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay, that'll work for me. Um, hmm, Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Are there any techniques that you guys would like to learn about that I haven't covered yet? I've been trying to go through the videos that I've already done. I might start getting into a few that I'm redoing because I spend so much time looking at things for YouTube and what to do and everything. I often don't get back to techniques that I really love. So I might start going back and doing some of those and just filming them because they are fun. And again, it's probably supplies typically that you already have, especially if I've already done the class, you might already have it or had seen the video and thought, oh yeah, I really love that. Maybe I'll do that myself then, something like that. Okay, on this guy. So that's an option. Those are some of the things that I'm looking at. But if there's something that has come up and you're like, I really don't understand that, or I don't know how that works, or those kind of things, um, and that's been a thought that you've had, by all means, please let me know because I'll look into it, see if I can figure something out about it, or try and train myself how to do that, or those kind of things, or figure it out. A lot of times I'm just winging it. So that happens a lot too. We'll try something out and see. I don't know if you saw the artwork that I made. Oh, that was the fun thing. I got to give the the sunflower artwork that I had done for a friend for Christmas. I just gave it to her the other day, and they were just over the moon with it. They were like, "Oh my God, you didn't have to do this." I'm like, "Really? It was really very simple. It was it just took time, playing around with it, and it was fun to discover if I could do what I thought I could do because I had seen the technique and then I saw Matt's art and thought, oh, I might be able to do that, and and of course I wanted to film it for the video, and so it was very fortuitous for me working out that way. um and they really loved it. So that's again another video. So 2 4 6 7, that's another thing that again I was just trying out to see if I could do it in the way that I thought that it would work, and it did. So yay me. But it turns out I do that quite a bit, which is very, very funny. I didn't know that I did that as often as I do, but it turns out I do that quite a bit. Okay, so I want to add a couple of baubles down here in the kind of this blue color. Think I've kind of got a green a little bit, and then this fun pink I think would be really nice down here. And then I'm going to do a one. So what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so one of these is going to have to go away because I have too many. So let's do 9. There we go. I'm going to go here like that. One in the blue here, like this. So as I've told you guys many times, we try to keep our embellishments, like when you're doing flat back pearls and things like that, you want them in odd numbers because then what happens is it helps our brains don't like to think about or don't like to see odd numbers. Somehow they just kind of react to that. They're just like, yeah, I can't. It gives it a pause, and we kind of stop and we're like, there's something wrong with that. I don't like how that looks. and we get caught with it that way. So that's what we want to do, is make sure. So I'm kind of looking, so this is kind of a purpley. Maybe I don't want that there. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But I don't know about if I pull this one and do that over there. Whoop. And that's kind of different. I don't mind that. What do you guys think? Now I could do one more there, one more there. Yeah, sure. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I've got this blue here. Can I get at that blue? Sure. Whoop. Whacking things. Okay, pull that one up. So, okay, that's better. And we kind of need a pinky purpley one up here. Can I turn that over? Maybe, maybe not. All right. Let me turn over you. There we go. Oh, for goodness sakes. See, and this is the problem too. When I get into these smaller things like this, it's like I totally forget that you guys are watching. So sorry about that. All of a sudden I'll be just that's if you could be here, you would probably smell the smoke rising, because that's what's happening there. All right, so there's a little bit much on there, but I think it's kind of fun because it's going to look like the balloons as well, like kind of how the balloons are going up, and I think that'll be fun. Right. So it's a bit of bling, but that's okay. This will end up going to probably, well, might end up selling this one, but if not, it'll end up going to one of my crafty friends, and they all like a bit of bling too. Do you guys give out birthday cards during the year? I do. I keep a running spreadsheet. So we go to my family, my husband's family, friends, and then my crafty friends as well. They all get. So I know I've already mailed out my ones for January. I've got my list for who's in February. Oopsie. Oh, that's good. Oh, wait. It flipped itself back. Yay. So where do I want to do this? I want it to be even. Geez, that's hilarious. I said this was going to end 5 minutes ago, and it's been, you know, more than 5 minutes. Anyway, um, mostly it's just me finishing with the bling and rabbiting on here. So if you guys are done, go ahead and finish the video. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you to all of the subscribers, and for the people who continue to tune in and like and subscribe and comment on the videos. Thank you for those of you that are sharing the videos as well. I can't tell you how much it means to me. It's really amazing. And let's do, okay, so last one here. So you can see here, these have all flattened out a little bit too, which is really nice. Okay, so, I wonder what that would look like if I did these guys and just did kind of a very simple dot, dot, dot. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I could do the same at the top too, two coming in. Okay, well, first of all, let's stick these ones down. This looks almost like, are these called ellipses? Is that what the dot, dot, dot is? Is a um, punctuation mark? Dot, dot, dot. It's nice is that this isn't, by doing it this way, it's not super in your face either. This here. And one of these keeps something right there. Two here. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'll hold it up and show you. And we'll go through the 4 cards that we made today in hour and 10, I think. All right. Also in the video description, if I can find the links for the stamp sets that I've used, I will link them below so that you can try and find them as well. But again, check your stash first, see what you've got. You don't necessarily need these particular images. That's why I wanted to do so many so you could get the idea. This, I will link the video below as well, where I did it with large background stamps that had like the thinner lines and stuff. But here's the cards we're going to go through. So you can just see here, a little bit of shine there, just on the edges. So again, this would be very simple to give to a man, like as a masculine card. We have the best day ever. So this will be a fun birthday or celebration card. So that'll be good. We have the 45th birthday card. I love that. I'm really happy with that. That's really cute. So yeah, watch the comment, watch the screenshot, because there might be a few more gold coming in just to bring in the gold again. But I want to kind of have it almost like a champagne shooting kind of thing. And then the last one, the happy birthday wishes to you. Just a little bit of bling, a little bit of shine. So again, this could very well, very easily go to a man. Not a problem at all. Like it's not blingy, too out there kind of thing. Both of these I would have no problem um, giving to one of my guy friends or family members, no problem. In the link below as well, I will put the buy me a coffee link if you are enjoying my videos, would like to see more, would like to help support me. If you enjoy the class length video, and feel like you would like to donate to me, by all means, that link is down below. It's not an obligation at all. I will see you in the next video. Please remember to comment, subscribe, keep your comments kind, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Turn on the notification so you are notified the next time one comes out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And it was really lovely sharing with you today. Bye-bye.